Alrighty, we are back for the second part for Eiyuu Senki. I'll try to record for like 15 minutes at a time because the first video was like 34 fucking minutes and I don't want it to be that long. That was just a matter of explaining all the important bits of the game so that, you know, I don't have to explain them every single time I play the game to the audience, YouTube, whatever, you guys. So, let's get continued on. Is that even a proper English phrase? Let's get continued on. Whenever I'm commentating, my English goes to shit. Just keep that in mind. Also, I've always been criticized for saying a lot. Well, I guess I'm sorry if that bothers you. In case you're one of those people who gets pissed off by that. So, we ended the first turn by recruiting the two generic commanders. They're not really generic, but whatever. They just don't have voice acting for some reason. Anyways, so after that, with all the first couple of missions that you do, they're just like kind of like filler. I don't want to say, well, actually I don't want to say filler. Is it on autoplay already? We'll just set it on autoplay for a little bit as I explain things. But the first couple missions are just kind of like lore building, I guess. It just explains. Is it even going on autosave? Oh, okay, it is. So I just keep getting interrupted. God damn. So yeah, the first couple of missions you don't really need to worry about. They're just, boom, you do them, and then you get, you know, a certain amount of money from them. I think the first couple of missions give you like, what, 100, 200, maybe 500 gold. As the game progresses, however, the amount of gold that you get from missions like these, where, you know, you're just talking to people and then maybe you're exploring some place, the amount of money that you get from them just skyrockets to the point where you're really gonna depend on them in order to get a huge amount of money to you know, put into troop enlargement and stuff like that, because troop enlargement in this game is important in the sense that if you clear the game at a pace where you're basically going too fast, then the game will respond by, you know, ramping up the enemy, you know, troop count, so that by the time, let's say, you're fighting, what's a good example here? USA, for example. Typically, you might, if you clear too fast, then you might be looking at your armies only having like, let's say 2k troops per, you know, on average, per commander unit in your roster, whereas, you know, the American troops might be having like 4k or 5k. So in order to kind of match that pace, the pace at which the game kind of ramps up difficulty in terms of, you know, country strength, and when you actually go ahead and fight them, then in order to kind of match with that, you really need to kind of, you know, expand your unit counts so that, you know, you don't get absolutely crushed by the time you fight some of the later countries in the game. So that's why money and missions like these are important, because missions give you a whole ton of money. There are lots of missions by the time you're at mid-game where the money that you get from the missions is actually about double or triple that of the amount you would get normally by just ending the turn and receiving like per turn revenue. So just keep that in mind. In the early game, it's not that like that though. The your per turn currency or your per turn revenue is actually greater than the amount of money that you get from missions like these, but that's not going to be the case, as you guys will see once we go start invading China, which they call the Taika Empire for some reason. Then again, I guess I suppose they can't really call everything by their proper names, right? So anyways, now that I've done explaining with that, let's go ahead and finish that mission. Remember, when you're playing this game, control is your best friend. We don't need to save right there. I'm just a compulsive saver, so that's why. Yamato Takeru is training, so let's just go ahead and do that. The last mission was just basically, you know, getting some funds. That's it. This one, however, it's kind of important to the story, because Yamato is training with Chihaya here, and because, you know, Chihaya is a servant of heaven and he's fight like one, obviously. So she's basically helping him train. because she's supposed to be like Japan's greatest swordswoman or something like that. So, she's helping train. As you guys can probably tell by the dialogue, they're really evenly matched. Which says a lot about Chihaya apparently, because you know he's never really held a sword before, or at least he doesn't remember. But he knows how to hold a sword anyway because he's the servant of heaven. You know, status means a lot in this game apparently. So, they're training, and what is it? Yamato is suffering a condition where, I'm going to spoil this a bit because they mention or other in future events that'll come up very soon. But if I explain it there, it might get a little confusing. So I'll just explain it here. Yamato had this weird condition where she's actually not alive technically because her heart isn't actually beating. So before you freak out, that's it's like, oh man, shit, that's weird, right? I mean, it's anime, shit. Man, since when has anime actually made sense? But that aside, Yamato's heart isn't actually beating, which means that normally, by anyone's standards, she'd be dead, but she's not. What happened was that a few months before the events of this game, when this game starts, apparently Yamato was involved in some kind of incident, trying to fight some people off, and what is it? I think a bolt of lightning struck her or something like that, and she, I don't want to say she died, but that's when her heart stopped beating or something like that. That's basically more or less what happened. And that's what caused her to retire, because she felt like when she regained consciousness, she felt like, she wasn't able to lead Himiko's troops properly, whatever. So that's basically why she's training Chihaya, so that Chihaya can eventually become her true successor or whatnot. Taking a drink of water here because I'm not used to talking for very long, or long periods of time. It doesn't help that my nose is kind of nasally too. Let's just skip that. And yeah, so basically Yamato is on a schedule here. She doesn't have much time left, is what I'm trying to say. In order to train up Chihaya to become, Japan's king, basically. All right, we don't need to care about that. So you might get a lot of pre-turn missions. Typically, the game has in pre-programmed points in the game where if you complete, certain missions, or if you happen to complete all your missions, then the game will automatically know, okay, you need more missions in order to, have more stuff to do, obviously, and progress the story, or progress the game in general. So they'll give you a lot of pre-turn events. Well, they'll let you know about all the new missions that you can do, and they'll actually say there's a new mission here over the cities where you can actually do new missions. So I like that. I like that about this game, that it actually tells you, oh, you got a new mission here, and it has a bright little flashing new word over it. So you can see for yourself where they are instead of just having to go to missions and just individually look for yourself. Let's see, conversation with Yamato and further explain Yamatai. Basically, events that I've already explained. This is just getting more money, more vegetables. People just start giving Himiko their spare vegetables because why not? She's the queen. And Yamato. I keep pressing log whenever I'm trying to save. It's a bad habit. And the turn. First part of the game obviously isn't going to be very very eventful because it's just mission building and just getting you used to the whole game mechanics and whatnot. Alright, so now we have to declare war on Kyoto. Kyoto is where you guys probably saw her in the enemy transition phase, but Kyoto is where Yoshitsune, someone, Minamoto no Yoshitsune. You might remember his name from medieval Japanese history. But like with any other hero who was male, Eiyuu Senki has turned him into a girl with pads apparently. Anyways. Get that over with. So this is Musashibo Benkei. She is a Lancer unit. um, for some reason, they made her into a character who's a really super fucking strong lolly, who runs around carrying around 997 weapons on her back. Because there are 3 events that she has where she finds the 997th weapon, or 998th weapon, the 999th weapon, and the 1000th weapon. That's apparently her goal, to find 1000 legendary weapons and carry them on her back. How the hell she carries all weapons on her back? Don't ask me. Anime logic. She probably has hyperspace behind her back or something. It's not on autoplay? Come on now. As you can see, she's not very bright. Her dialogue's pretty hilarious, though. She's looking for Yoshitsune, basically. They're apparently really good friends. I kind of like Yoshitsune's character design. I'll be commenting on character design for a lot of characters, but I like Yoshitsune. She's not like fucking over-sexualized like a lot of other people. You know, Yoshitsune is just, she's chill. Let's just put it like that. She's chill. Yoshitsune. She's a warrior unit, or a swordsman unit, whichever you want to prefer. I'll just call her a warrior unit. And, she's... I guess she's above average. She's not great, but she's above average. So, I mean, that's a lot more than I can say about others. Anyways, let's skip to that. So, after you declare war on Kyoto, your status with them turns hostile. So, yeah. Apparently, Himiko and Yoshitsune have a relationship between them, in that Yoshitsune was Himiko's old tutor, and Himiko is forever scarred by her quote-unquote lectures. We don't know what the lectures entail, but apparently Yoshitsune's lectures are pure fucking hell. Even Chihaya comes to hate it. They'll do anything to get out of it. Poor Himiko. Alright, so now your only mission now is to march on Kyoto, which means we have to prepare accordingly. Right now we don't have a lot of funds, and recruiting more troops is kind of expensive, so I would recommend against it. I'm just gonna give Hiraga Gennai about 130 more troops just because I can. And her about 80 more troops. I'm a little bit OCD about this game in the sense that, I like having all the ones they just all zeros, because when you gain commanders, as you'll probably see when we actually beat Kyoto and conquer them, you'll see that they might come with troop counts that aren't exactly at 0, so I'll just give them like the exact number to get them to 0, the ones that did 0. Yeah, if you find that annoying, I apologize in advance, but it's just kind of like my OCD about this game. Anyway, let's march on Kyoto. Let's beat those assholes. Well, they're not assholes. They're all pretty chill. I don't think you guys heard Yamato's voice acting. I wonder if Yamato... Yes, that's a little bit, There it is. I'll try to give you guys voice lines from each, from everyone who has voice acting in this game, so just so you can hear what they sound like in game. Okay. Blah blah blah, introductions, thanks. So, Chihaya, blah blah. Yeah, let's just do that. I should probably put Chihaya up in front, but whatever, doesn't matter. So in the early game, you can afford to get away with hitting the units that your own units are super effective against. So if you pay attention closely, I know I've got the desktop flashing in the background, so you might not see this if you're not watching on theater or something like that. But if you look closely, there are when you have a unit selected, or if there's a unit selected, you select a move for them, like strike, which is the basic warrior attack. You'll see that some of the units on the enemy side have the little flashing, rotating, spinning red explosion looking thing. That means that that particular unit is weak against the attack that you're about to attack them with, to be redundant. So that's what it basically means. And it's in this game they're referred to as attribute bonuses, so that basically the game has a system of some classes are good against other classes, and that's basically indicative of that. Magicians are basically weak to everything except for other magicians, which kind of sucks because they can get evaporated in an instant. That's why normally you put magician units in the back like I did for Hiraga Gennai instead of in the front like the enemy did, because you don't want them to get insta-killed right off the bat. Critical! And leaves them at 1. Guess how much damage he'll do? 20. Not that bad actually, but yeah, you'll see later on when we get to other countries where their unit troops might be like what, 2,000, 3,000. If you leave them at 1, they'll still do like 400 or 500 damage, which makes no fucking sense. But that's okay. We can forgive them. So they're targeting my my tank generic commander for some reason, but that's fine. Generally, the enemy will prioritize frontline units more, unless there are enemies, or unless you have ally units that are weak against particular attacks. They'll try going after them first because attribute bonuses. Okay, we got rid of Benkei. Benkei is kind of annoying to get rid of because she has really high defense at 8. So obviously she'll be tanking a lot for her side. And this is why I should have put Chihaya up in front, because now he can't reach her. Someone's fans, why not? Another thing about Hiraga Gennai's moveset is that even though she'll only stick with Magic Missile and Bombardment for the rest of the game, she has 8 attack, which means that she's really strong. But the thing though is that her secondary attack, Bombardment, is a cannon attack, so that means that Lancers, Magicians, and Backliners will all be highly affected against, or it's super effective against them, except for against cannon units. Makes sense. But the reason why you want to use Bombardment as much as possible is because look at the delay between Bombardment and Magic Missile. Magic Missile has 150 delay, whereas Bombardment has only 100. So whenever you can, always try using Bombardment. Unless there's a good reason why you shouldn't. As you guys can see, though, Bombardment can only hit the back 2 rows, which means that I can't hit your Shitsune with this. So, just a little quirk about Hiraga Gennai, I guess. Yay, great victory, whatever. Kyoto is ours. As soon as you conquer a country, their commanders will come join you. No questions asked, which I guess it's good that, there's a little bit of consistency there. There are obviously exceptions where, when you conquer a country, you might not immediately capture their important commanders right off the bat. Why does it always get off autoplay? That's weird. I hope it hasn't been like 15 minutes, otherwise I'm gonna have to cut this part off. I did want to conquer the rest of Japan before I start up another video. Looks like she doesn't have voice acting rights here. That sucks. Alright, we'll save here. Capture Kyoto. Yeah, so we'll give Benkei, what is it, 64? Do the math. We're not on Twitch, so I can do math properly. Anyways, Yoshitsune comes with 560, and Benkei comes with 500. Or, she came with 400, but I gave her 500. Alright. We don't have any items yet, do we? Only one. I gave it to Chai. Alright. Save that. And we'll end your turn. Normally, the Japanese cities will never actually attack you. You have to attack them. So, I mean, if you want to consider that, if you want to look at that as a good thing, then, by the way, that's, you can do that. So, luckily, we can just, luckily that pre-turn event just outright, declared Edo as hostile. Apparently we can't invade Edo though, so I guess we'll just be waiting on that. Alright. Late night training, exploring the ancient city. We'll do the exploring the ancient city because it gives us money. It'll actually say it gives you money. And then late night training. So that's where they find out that, you know, Yamato's condition of why her heart is not beating for some reason. Alright, Yamato. And she leaves. So she goes, quote-unquote, back into retirement. Which kind of sucks because Yamato had really good attack. She had 9 attack and 6 defense. She was just really slow, but who the hell cares if she hits like a fucking truck. Alright. So we're gonna go ahead and do this one first. Unfortunately, it does mean that we're gonna have to use up both of them, but that's okay. Alrighty, Ruby. We can put that on Benkei because she can hold 2 items. So save that because I'm a compulsive saver. Hopefully you're not annoyed by that. So basically, there are 2 missions here. One is just straight up marching to Edo. If you click on this, then you if you beat them, then you just straight up capture Edo, and that's that. However, this one is a secondary mission where you have to basically, or you're basically cutting off their new shipment of, you know, high-tech muskets that they were bound for, and you basically weaken them for the next when you actually do march on Edo. So it's recommended you do this. You don't have to, but you know, it's fun to do it anyway. Plus, it lets it basically trains your troops so that they gain more troops if you beat them. So it's like, why not, right? All right. As you guys can notice, all their names are important commanders. So this is where they introduce you to musket units. Musket units are special in the sense that, like in Sengoku Rants, well, not really like in Sengoku Rants, but in Sengoku Rants, musket units could only were like ranged frontliners. In this case, they can only shoot forward in a straight line. They can't shoot around. So that's why musket units are really strong, but they need to be used more tactically. So if you can, try to put all your units in to like avoid them, because they waste a turn trying to get into position to actually attack you. So that's why I have no one on the bottom row, because that way Niwa Nagahide can't hit anyone. And yeah, let's move down here because Hideyoshi has the most amount of troops, so he'll probably be doing the most amount of damage. Start the battle now. Alright, battle begins. Apparently they had to slide down a huge cliff in order to attack them, which explains why Himiko is saying, "I'm alive! God damn! Let's never do that again." We can thank Benkei for that idea. Let's see. Yoshitsune has 7 attack and has the most amount of troops, therefore I don't think she can one-shot him. We'll try. Yep, she couldn't one-shot. Fuck. Yeah. Alright, spear attack. Alright, one shot and basically kill them all before they can ever act. These are the best kinds of battles where you kill the entire enemy army and never have to suffer any casualties of your own. Those feel really good, man. Feels good, man. Save that. Will they attack? Nope, they never do. So thank God. Alright, now all we have left is to march on Edo. Alright, let's go. I'm just trying to fast forward to where you meet Oda Nobunaga, because I don't think I've shown you her what she sounds like. There it is. Put on an autoplay. Ah! Yeah, so like I said, why does she have no pants? You know, for all her fancy fucking armor, because she's known as the demon of Edo, her armor looks fucking sweet. I'll give the character designers that. Why the fuck does she go into battle without any pants? Anime logic, boys. Boys. Anyways, by the way, Oda Nobunaga has 8 attacks, so which means that if she hits anyone, they're probably screwed. Therefore, we'll put Chia in the front. If she's in the front as well, we'll put Hikara Toshiso in the middle because she has the most amount of defense, which means she can probably tank. Like that. We'll tackle Nobunaga. Fuck her. That way she can't attack at all, and she's dead before she can actually do anything. Her one weakness is the fact that she has 3 defense, which means that if you focus fire on her, she'll die really easily. Once she's gone, you don't have to worry about a thing. We'll just attack Maya Toshi, who is also in single grants. Healing. Who needs more healing? She has... God, math. Why can't I do math? 84, 74. So, there we go. About healing in this game. Healing buffs a certain percentage of a unit's total troop count. It doesn't rely on the healer's own troop count at all, which I'm not too sure how I feel about that, but because in Single Grants it was a lot different, where the amount of healing you did on another character or on another troop unit depended on how many troops your healer's unit had. But in this game it doesn't matter, because it just goes straight off a percentage. So just wanted to mention that. Right. So this game is obviously a huge fan of the trope of, if we conquer you, you become a friend! Yeah! Welcome, Nobunaga. Alright, now with this we have successfully reunited Japan. Now from here we shall conquer the world. One by one. So, Nobunaga comes with 615, which is the most amount of troops of anyone in our army, which is nice. Usually, the good thing about Eiyuu, voice actor. The good thing about Eiyuu Senki is the fact that when you capture certain commanders, because typically you have to fight them first before you can convince them to join your army. There are some characters who just join you outright, like the generic characters and some other heroes later down the line. But for the most part, if you want to capture a certain hero, you have to fight them in battle first, sometimes multiple times. When they do join you, let's put it on there. When they do join you, the amount of troops that you saw them with in battle, they'll typically come with that number. It doesn't really change all that much. Sometimes, in fact, they stay the same. Like the amount of troops that you see them in battle when you fight them, they come with that exact number. Sometimes, most of the time, it will kind of vary, but it'll always be somewhere around that number, which is always good, because if you manage to beat someone with like a really insane amount of troops, that means you get to keep that when they actually come join you, which is excellent. It's very good. It's a good feeling. Good feeling. Anyways. We already saved. Let's just go ahead and save in this column again, so I don't have to waste the fucking slide. Okay, we can't do either of them. So we'll end enemy turn. Player turn. Cool. So we're gonna save right here, and we're gonna end the video, and we'll see you guys in the next turn, or see you guys in the next video. Bleh.